Joe, Joe.
Been blessed with the presence of our special guest, who, real quick, I want to let you know, financial advisor, self-published author, mother, religious leader, and the list goes on. For some, they know her as a mentor. For others, they know her as a caring, kind individual. I want to give a round of applause for Miss Tearanie Parker of PFS Advisors. Tearanie, say hello to the people.
Hello, hello, hello.
Nice. So I don't like them listening to me for too long. So if you want to bless them, let us know exactly who Miss Tearanie Parker is.
Well, that's a good question. You actually just answered some of who I am. I am a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. I am I wear so many hats, but I'm also a financial advisor. I'm an entrepreneur. I just love people. I love what I do. I not only get a chance to help people build wealth, but I also get a chance to transform their minds. So that is one of the things that I love to do.
Mm-hmm. And so you talked about transforming their minds. So let's just get into it. What do you do, and how do you transform their minds?
So that's a good question. If you're asking me as a financial advisor, I help them build, create, and maintain, and actually transfer their assets to the next generation. I believe in transferring assets beyond one generation. A lot of us only focus on that one generation, but before we can even get there, I absolutely love helping them to build, create wealth, and that takes time. It's not a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not we're going to do this in 1 year. It takes time to build your wealth portfolio, and everyone has a wealth portfolio, whether they believe it or not. It's the point of understanding there's a mindset behind money. If you know you're wealthy in your mind, it transfers into your behaviors. And so that's a big thing when it comes to building wealth. And then also I help people define wealth. What is your definition of wealth? Because wealth means differently for many people.
Yeah.
For me, it could be multi-millions. I want to have, multi-millions. I want to be healthy. I want to travel the world. That's me. That's what wealth means to me. But for other people, it's just the fact that I can be able to take care of my family, but also to be able to bless others. That's what wealth means to them.
Yeah. For some, it's a wealth of time. You know what I mean? I like having as much time as possible. So where I could be having a nice salary job, I would prefer to help my community and have ample time to myself and my family.
I like to be able to get up and choose what I want to do for that day. You know what I mean?
That's good.
And sometimes, it's not about the dollar amount. It's you have time, right? Me, it's just that peace within myself that I can get up and choose to do what I want to do. Yeah. And what I usually do is I give.
Yeah.
Exactly. And giving is very important when it comes to wealth building. People don't understand that. They think that wealth building is about me building my own empire, my own assets. But there's a component to that is giving. Because if you give, the law of attraction, it comes back to you. Yes.
Press down, shake it together.
Yeah,
and
running over.
Right.
Shall men give unto your bosom?
Oh, hey, guys, I didn't tell you this, but she's also not a pastor, right?
No, I'm a minister.
A minister.
Yes, I'm a minister. I'm actually an up-and-coming minister because I'm in the program right now, you guys. I haven't been ordained as of yet, but I minister to people all the time. It's interesting when people come to me and they talk to me about money, they also talk to me about everything else that goes on in their life because it affects their money, their relationships, who they're with, how they feel about themselves. actually affects the way they build their money. And so they'll come to me thinking that I'm just coming and I'm talking to you about my retirement plan or about life insurance. But then we actually get into the fact of, okay, what is going on in your mind? What's going on in your life? Why are you not able to save? What is your thought patterns about saving? You know, why are you spending so much money? You have all this money coming in, but you have nothing to show for that. You only have 1,000 in your emergency fund, and you should have more than that.
You know, I think she's resonating with the 80% of my clientele.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
She works with it. So, and I just want to, Miss Parker right here, right? Works with a lot of high income earners, and is helping transform those middle income earners into high income earners.
That's the beauty. So
Yes.
there are people that come to me that are not high income earners. They are middle income earners. But my job, the wonderful things I get to do is help them get to become high income earners, because we look at everything in regards to their financial wherewithal. We look at the fact that, okay, if you're in this profession or you have this business, what other dreams do you have? Because I want you not to stay in the same position for the rest of your life. I want you to actually be able to grow, because if you grow, your salary grows, your business grows, and therefore your assets grows.
Yes.
So that's a big thing. You know, we always, every year, people talk about having personal goals. You know, they talk about losing weight and such, but you should also have professional and business goals, and you should also have financial goals every single year. And that's one of the things that I really hone in on with clients. What are your financial goals for this year?
Well, you know, I'll tell you what. You know, I used to coach sports, football, and everything, right? One thing we always had, we set these goals at the beginning of the year, right? What I found is, you know, a lot of people set the goals and they're going gung ho in the first like 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
Losing weight, whatever it may be, right?
Yes.
What I found in my little world in the last umpteen years I've been alive, going from the end result and working itself backwards. So like, let's focus on numbers. Let's say I want to make $120,000 a year.
Okay.
That means I need to make $10,000 a month. That means I need to make $2,500 a week. That means I need to make $750.
Oh,
a
yeah.
day.
You just broke that down. That's
See
what
what
I'm
I'm
talking about.
And so I feel like it's best to always end result and work yourself backwards, so you know exactly where you are and be honest about where you are financially.
And that's the thing. People are not honest about where they are. They don't want to look at their numbers. They don't know their net worth, which is your assets minus your liability. They don't know that. And then when they do the goals, when they write down the goals, write the vision, make it plain, and then you run with it. They don't have realistic goals, and then they don't have benchmarks. So every 3 months, you're evaluating, okay, if my goal was $1,000 a month, by the first quarter, you know, am I at that 3,000 mark? Am I at that 4,000 mark? Where am I? And if I'm not there, then what happened? So what happens is you get to that point, you start, like you said, in the beginning of the year, and then life happens.
Yep.
Ooh, preach.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Preach.
You needed a new roof. All right. Something happens in the business and you have to use extra funds to make sure that your employees are covered. Something happens with your children. You got to make sure that they are covered. So what happens is people fall off. And then when they fall off, they don't realize that the benchmark that they had placed there, that's to keep you going. So when you get to that point and you say, okay, life happens. I didn't do what I was supposed to do, but I'm here at this point. I need to pick it back up and keep going.
Yes.
That's where people miss it. They fall off, but they don't keep going.
I think you said it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, that's what I meant to say. If that's what.
Yeah, that's
right.
exactly what you said.
Well,
you know?
the thing is, people don't keep going
They
because
don't.
more than likely they're not. And I was going to go back to our behaviors, and the way we behave is based on the people we surround ourselves around.
Right.
And so when things happen in a negative way, which it guarantees is going to happen because life will happen, you'll step back because it's comfortable to step back and sit in your comfort zone. That's where people lose out.
Exactly, exactly. And if you don't have accountability, that's a big thing when it comes to building wealth or even a business. You have to have someone that you can go to that will keep you accountable. We are not lone rangers. We need people. We need each other. And it does matter who you have in your corner.
Yes, it
Now, you
does.
can't have someone that's speaking against your vision. You can't have someone that's negative. You can't have someone that doesn't see your dream as something that can actually come to pass. They're naysayers. They're there to put doubt in your mind. And there are people around you that actually do that. So we need to get rid of those people. We can be tactful about it, but we need to say, okay, I can't listen to this person because they don't understand the dream, the vision that God has given me. So I can't allow their doubt to infiltrate my mind to where it actually is transformed into my behaviors where I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. So I need to surround myself with people who are like-minded, people who understand my dream and I understand theirs. So it can't always be about us. So when you're accountable to someone, you also have to be that accountability to them.
So with that, I have a younger cousin, 6 years younger than me. Just got out of college and stuff like that. So sometimes he'll ask me questions, and in order to make sure that I'm not being one of those naysayers, he'll give me his idea, and I'll tell him it's not my vision, my dream, so I don't see it. But I support you in going to live it out. So you let me know how I can be an advocate for you.
Yes, because sometimes everyone won't see what you see because your dream is just that big. So they can't think far. They can't see it like you can see it.
I had people who told me, they were like, marching to more. Why would you name your business Marching to More Real Estate? And I was like, it sound cool to me. Like, I think it'll inspire.
Because you're marching to
my
more.
people. Exactly. They didn't see it. They was like, that don't make sense.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It resonates into something bigger than what we are.
Exactly. You see something greater than yourself. You see what it could possibly turn into. And so you already named it. You already have spoken it in the atmosphere, marching to more. So it's going to be marching to more, better, bigger, grander. But everybody won't get that.
So that's our name, right? We're the Marching to More team. You are let me make sure I say this right, PFS Advisors.
Yes, I'm the co-founder of PFS Advisors.
And Funding an Empire.
I am the CEO of Funding an Empire.
So can you tell us about those two entities, what they mean to you, and how they came to be?
Sure. So PFS Advisors is my actual financial advisory firm.
Okay.
We are a financial planning firm where we help customers. Oh, God, I can't say customers. Shall I say clients? Because they're my clients. They're not my customers. We help my clients be able to understand where they are currently in their current financial position and then where they want to be 2, 5, 10 years from now. So my job is to help them be able to build wealth in a long-term span, not in a short-term span. So I offer strategies. I offer financial products. I offer them a chance to tell me their goals and their dreams, and we write it down. We make it plain. We run with it. But we also understand that everything has to be realistic. So that's a part of one of the hats that I wear as far as a financial advisor. But Funding an Empire, the business that I have, it was birthed because I was running into good people who wanted to build, but they had issues in their minds, their mindset, the way that they handled money. They didn't have a healthy relationship with money. They didn't understand that money does not control you, you control it. They didn't get that.
Preach.
And so what I did was
Roger said I had to bless you with a sound because he said preach.
The relationship with money. You can have a relationship with money?
Yes.
Ooh.
And a lot of us have a poor relationship with money, and it's not our fault. Okay, because of our environment. Maybe as children we didn't grow up in homes that was taught. Financial literacy was taught. We were taught about having good credit or how to build good credit. We were taught about how to save, how to invest. A lot of us was not taught those things. We weren't taught about money and that, money should work for us. We should not work for it. We should, but not. That shouldn't be the only focus. Our money should be working for us. And so a lot of us did not get that education in our homes. And we learned indirectly by watching our parents, because I'm number one, how to live paycheck to paycheck. That's what I learned indirectly. My mother didn't teach me that, but I observed her lifestyle with money. I observed her relationship with money. And her relationship with money was, I live paycheck to paycheck. If I need anything, I don't save, but I go get it from my mother, my sisters. I borrow from them. That's what we learned. So a lot of us, because we did not receive financial education in our homes as children, and it's not our parents' fault. Some of them just didn't know. That's one of the things they should have taught us. When we got out in the world, now we have subconsciously in our mind destructive thought patterns when it comes to money. We don't know how to manage money. We just spend money. We live paycheck to paycheck, even though we make six figures.
Yep.
Money is just like we have holes in our pockets because we don't have a healthy, holistic relationship with money.
So I want you guys to know, and it's a personal story. You're gonna see me in my car. All right, my car is a very modest car. All right, it's not like Miss Tearanie Parker's car. It's beautiful, all right? But the reason why I have a modest car is because I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
I have a savings account that is substantial. I live within my means, and as I continue to grow and develop in my career field, then maybe we can get that gold and green wrapped Tesla. You know what I mean? But right now, I'm living in my means.
Of course.
Gold and green wrapped Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, green and gold.
Let's write that down.
That gold and green got me. I mean, the Tesla part I'm okay with, but the
That green and gold.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that gold.
Oh,
green
wow.
and gold.
Okay.
But keeping you on track, you're saying a whole lot of great stuff. I took net worth down, and I would love to talk about how people can grow their net worth instantly using some financial products that can make that happen very simply. Let's just start there before I go too far.
Yeah. Let me not. I can't talk specific products.
Yes.
Because of my licenses. But what I can say is, in this interesting economic time that we're in, there's an economic shift happening. If you can feel it, you can see it, you hear it on the news. Everybody's talking about recession. One of the things that I'm telling people and I'm encouraging them is to be as liquid as possible. Okay. So I want you to pay your bills, but I want you to not concentrate on eliminating debt as much as saving. Not at this time. This time you need to save as much as you can because Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8, because you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. So you want to put your assets or your monies in various places. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. But the foundation is saving. So you want to have an emergency fund. And, there's several rules of thumb in the financial industry in regards to that. Some financial gurus say 3 to 6 months of monthly expenses. Some say, 6 to 9 months. Some say 8 months, depending on, whether or not you can get a job quickly because of your field, your career field. Maybe you can, if you lose a job, you can get one really quick, like a nurse. They lose their job, somebody gonna hire them next week because that's a prominent field that's in need right now. But if you're not in that type of industry, then you need to be saving as much as you can. But I love one of the things that Dave Ramsey said is if you don't have 3 to 6 months at this time, because sometimes that's daunting. Especially if you have 5 months worth of expenses, that's pretty daunting. But if you can just do 1,000, just save 1,000 in emergency fund, and then focus on eliminate some of your debt. Don't worry about all of it. Then go back to in saving more. Then that's what you should do. What I'm saying is, whatever you decide to do, liquidity is the key because you want to have an emergency fund, but then you want to go one step further and develop a savings that is not an emergency fund, but it's a savings that you can create for financial opportunities.
So we got emergency funds. So if we have a major medical issue or something in the house needs to be tackled immediately,
Absolutely.
execute with that fund. But over here, we've got an opportunity fund.
Exactly. And this is what I mean. We're in a very interesting time where there's volatility in the market. If you had a savings for financial opportunities, you should be investing more now because everything is on sale.
It's on sale.
Everything's on sale.
But the stock market is going down, though.
Exactly.
Oh, so that means things are on sale.
Yeah.
Buy low, sell high. I'm playing goofy, y'all, but I already know. Me and Tearanie talking all the time.
Yeah, so,
and she's right.
Yeah, so everything is on sale. And then what if someone comes to you at this very interesting time and say, I have a business proposition for you. I want you to go in business, and they show you the numbers and the numbers make sense. If you have the monies to actually execute, then you're good.
After you research.
After you do your research, after you looked at the numbers, after it makes sense,
Yes.
then you move forward. But that's why saving for financial opportunities is so important. And also within that, you have the ability to give to other businesses. So it's not just about saving just for yourself, but also giving as well. And so this is so important when it comes to the foundation. So you're making sure you're not getting into excess debt. I don't believe that you should not have any debt. That's a myth. If you're a business owner, you need some debt, okay? If you want to build your credit, you need debt. But I do believe that there are some debt that you don't need to get into, like buying another car when you don't really need it, or, buying new furniture at this time when you have perfectly good furniture in your house. And this is not the time to be buying new furniture. Why you're the one.
I just want to say, using your consumer credit card to go on Amazon Prime, to go to a fancy dinner, to go buy some brand new shoes.
All right, hold on.
I'm not talking about you,
No,
Roger.
look, man. Let me put all my business
Why are
out
you
there.
looking guilty? Why are you looking guilty?
I like certain things, and some things I eliminate.
My
And
boy
some
look
things-
fly, too.
I'm just saying. I like Amazon. It's convenient. It's easy. It's smooth.
Yes, but we must manage and multiply our money.
Yes.
That should be your focus. That's why mindset is so important. We have to manage and then multiply. Manage, multiply. Create, manage, multiply. Create, manage, multiply.
All right, guys. So I hope you're taking notes. When Roger Lee says we'll be with you from beginning to the end and from that moment forward. All right. Remember, our house is the place where we begin to build wealth and equity. We then talk to professionals in their field, subject matter experts like Tearanie Parker here over at PFS Advisors, and she helps you, guide you from that moment forward. Okay, Raj, what you got for her?
My goodness, so much information.
So much. Message.
I'm gonna tell you what. One thing's for sure is a lot of people out here, they do live check to check, and they're just happy to get through that next check.
Right.
Okay, and then we're talking about emergency funds and savings and everything.
Right.
I know some people that had in the past 6 months that have $30,000 sitting there, and in my opinion, $30,000 is not a lot of money, because that $30,000 is now gone. Because the expenses came up, emergency things came up,
Exactly.
one thing after another.
Exactly.
And now this particular client, they don't know what to do.
Mm.
What would you suggest they do?
So this is the thing. An emergency fund is for you to utilize. So you're going to see highs and lows in your emergency fund. You're going to be using it all the time. That's what it's for, emergencies. So therefore, you have to understand that you have to replenish. And the only way that you can replenish is by making sure that your debt is not stifling you. And so you may want to look at putting more monies towards your debt so that you can have excess money to put more towards your savings. So it just depends on your situation and the strategy. This is the time where I would not suggest that you just exhaust everything. But if you do, then there's only another way. There's only one other way that you can build, and that is to bring more income back into your home.
Right.
Okay, so you said saving strategy. So I've heard of multiple strategies. I got the snowball effect.
Yes.
Are you familiar with that? Can you talk to me about any strategies that you then recommend to your clients?
So I personally utilized the snowball method
Okay.
because of the fact that this was years ago. My husband and I, we were in debt. I'm just being real. And one of the things that I realized is that I was just giving more to other people's empires and just not putting more into mine, because everyone has an empire. You have an empire. And so when we listed all of our debts, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I was the one that had most of the debt. So he listed all of his debts, I listed all of my debts, and there was a pattern, you guys. Tearanie had most of the debt.
He was like, I got NFL Prime, babe. That's about it. They got NFL.
You got everything else.
You have 3 credit cards and 4 cards to stores that you don't need to be having. So one of the things I did was I took Dave Ramsey's advice, and I did the method where I did I focused on the smallest debt. So I listed all the debts from smallest to largest. And then with the smallest debt, what I did was I paid the minimum amount on that debt plus any extra monies I paid towards that debt. Once that debt was removed, then the next lowest debt, I paid the minimum that I'm supposed to pay on that debt plus the minimum that was on the debt that I paid on the debt that I just removed,
Okay.
plus any extra.
Okay.
Then that's what I did to remove that debt. Actually, my husband got a second job. So all the monies that came in from the second job, we did not incorporate that back into our lifestyle. We put that money aside and we used that specifically to eliminate debt.
Okay.
So once we did that and we were eliminating debt after debt, so I'm the type of person, I have to have some sort of gratification. I can't just be eliminating debt after debt after debt and I'm just not rewarding myself. So what I did was I built in a reward system where after, let's say, 2 or 3 debts were eliminated, then I was able to take some money and go shopping, or we went out to dinner, or we did something that this is for rewarding ourselves because we eliminated 2 or 3 debts. And then we got right back on it.
That is a major key.
We got right back on it because some people, they're like, okay, I'm just out here working and eliminating debt and this is great, but Lord, I can't even go out to dinner. You have to have some type of reward system built in. So that's what we did. But after 3 years, to tell you how much debt I had, after 3 years, we were debt free.
Nice.
Hallelujah.
So that works.
Good job.
That's it.
Good job.
So I was grateful to Dave Ramsey, to the snowball method, because it actually does work. But you have to be consistent, and then you have to find other sources of income to put towards that debt. Yeah. So that's the thing. Some people, it would take you a lot longer if you don't have extra monies to put towards that debt. So if you want to get that debt eliminated quicker, I would suggest getting another part-time job or some type of hobby or, some type of extra income from somewhere.
I would recommend, why don't you just benefit off your intellectual properties and do as Miss Parker here has done, and create items. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Me and Roger have taken note, and we've started working on books, teaching people around real estate and how to better do that. But can you tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've done?
So Funding an Empire, one of the things that I forgot to mention before, was created because of people's mindsets. I wanted to help people understand their mindset is a great place to start when it comes to building wealth. So I wrote a book called Funding an Empire, What My Parents Didn't Teach Me About Money, because I wanted to highlight the facts that there's a lot of us out there that we didn't receive the education at home in regards to building wealth, and it's okay, but we need to start now. And so let's begin with the mindset. So I talk a lot in the book about mental strongholds. There are things that are embedded, or shall I say, thought patterns, the way we think, that are embedded in our mind that relates to the way we relate to money. And so identifying those things. And one of the things with me was because I grew up and had so much trauma as a child, There was a lot of trauma growing up in my home that I began to identify money and materialistic things as a part of my self-esteem, my identity. So I will buy clothes and I will buy certain things to make myself feel a certain way and make me appear a certain way to people, like I had money, but I really didn't. And so I had to change that thought pattern. I had to deal with the issues surrounding why I was spending. What is behind me spending? And that is one of the things that I talk about in the book. Then I go into basic foundational truths and shall I say a foundation that should be laid before you start investing, before you start building assets. There's a foundation that should be laid, and savings is a big part of that. Because if savings is not foundational, when you start investing, something happens, you're going to have to take that money out. Well, it costs to invest. So so you need to have that foundation of savings. And then, you know, a part of that wealth portfolio, and that's why I love connecting with you guys, is having real estate. So that's a big part of building your wealth portfolio. You should have not only one home, but several homes. So speaking to people about that mindset, how do I change the way I view myself? I change the way I relate to money when I didn't even grow up in a home. I grew up in an apartment. Now I have a home. You talking about I need to have a second one? What?
Yes. Yes.
That's all a part of changing mindset. So that's what the book is about.
All right. And hopefully this book is going to help change our culture too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Get this into the right hands. If you guys need an autographed copy, come check out me. I'll definitely connect you with one, or go directly to the source, Miss Tearanie Parker. You can find her over in Town Center of the Virginia Beach area. Right? Building 222 Central Park Avenue.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, I got a quick. I always give like everybody in my family. I give them a book when they graduate from high school, and it's a tradition thing I do. I've been doing it for like the last 10 years.
Oh wow!
Usually I give them this book, The Richest Man in Babylon.
Ooh, that's a good book, actually.
Y'all know about that?
That's one of my
absolutely.
Books,
so I give it to them, and then what I do is I got 8 weeks, and I'm gonna give them a 10-question quiz. And if they get an 80% or better, they receive $500 toward their school, student books and stuff.
All right, Uncle Raj.
Okay.
But that's what I do.
Y'all need to contact.
So, but
I'm sure you're related some kind of way.
But I want to. But I want to take a look at your book and see how I can make that thing happen, because I got a big family.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I want to ask you this, and I just want to make sure that our audience hears this out. We said emergency fund. Now, if you could, I'm going to do a quick question. Is the emergency fund for Christmas gifts?
No.
Okay. Is it for your 40th anniversary?
Absolutely not.
Is it for that vacation in Belize?
No.
What exactly is an emergency in your mind?
An emergency.
Holy smacks.
The car breaks down. You need a new one.
Yes.
Just want to make sure everybody knows that
car
it's
breaks
not.
down.
Tree falls into the house.
Exactly. There is a medical emergency, and you need to make sure that things are covered.
Family
family member passes. Well, actually, you should have life insurance for that. So family member, no emergency fund, life insurance.
Okay,
that should be. That's another one. That's another area that a lot of us don't want to talk about and deal with, but that's very important. It should be a part of your wealth portfolio. Anyway, it's another.
So we know what emergencies are, the real emergencies.
So if we're talking about life insurance, one of your favorite books that you recommended to me that I have right here, we got What Would the Rockefellers Do?
Yeah.
Right? If you guys don't know these names, Morgan, J.P. Morgan. If you don't know Rockefeller, if you don't know Ford, then I would question your time in America and how well you spent it.
Yes.
You want to tell us about that?
So J.D. Rockefeller in the early 1900s, he built a vast empire. And so his family, one of the things that when he wanted to transfer the wealth, one of the things that he said was, I want our family to keep the wealth together, to keep the money together. And so the book compares the Rockefellers to the Vanderbilts, which, they were very wealthy as well. And it travels down generationally what happened to that wealth. And so with the Vanderbilts, as you know, they had a lot of trust fund babies. They bought a lot of things such as big vacation homes and such. But long story short, they don't have the wealth like they had when he first built it. But J.D. Rockefeller, his family, they are still a very wealthy family to this day. And one of the reasons why is that one of the things that he did was he created a trust, and then he created a board. And the board, when a family member, when they are born, they put a life insurance policy on that child. And of course, we're not talking about a term policy. We're talking about a permanent policy, like a whole life policy.
Okay.
And the cash value that was built up in that policy, that's what they utilized when the child came to the board and said, hey, I need money to go to college, or I need money for a business, or I need money for what have you. The trust will approve that, but they borrowed from the life insurance policies and they had to pay the policy back. That's why they are still wealthy, because there's so many of those policies that they put on their family members that are still building.
And when they pass away, they never have to do a GoFundMe for the funeral services.
Absolutely not. Of course not.
When they go and start a business, they get it at a preferred interest rate.
Yes.
When they purchase assets like real estate, they get it at a preferred interest rate, if any at all.
Yeah. So basically, they created their own bank.
Yes.
And basically, with life insurance, you can do that. With permanent life insurance policies, you can do that, and only with some of them.
Okay.
You can create your own bank. You can create your own family bank with them, and so they can also be utilized to supplement retirement. Yes, they were when they first were created. It is for death benefit purposes. I want everybody to understand that. They were created so that when something happens to you, your heirs will get a tax-free death benefit. You know, they will be able to carry on their lives. If they didn't want to go back to work because they're grieving, they can stay out of work for months or years, depending on how much that life insurance was, the face amount. But the thing about it is not just for death benefit purposes now. Life insurance has evolved into being utilized for so much more.
Woo. Guys,
So
that is
much.
a major key. And as always, I hope you're taking notes. We're not done yet. I have a few more questions for you, Tearanie. Is that okay?
Absolutely. I'm
All
on
right,
a roll
great.
now.
Because you're doing your things. You've given us a couple books there. Did you have any other books you want to recommend to the people?
So those are that one right there in particular, and of course the one that you just mentioned, and then also Millionaire Next Door. So Millionaire Next Door is another good one. I had my children read Millionaire Next Door because I wanted them to know that you could be living next to a millionaire and not even know it, because they don't appear to have the money. They have regular cars, not the fancy cars or more expensive cars in their driveway. They have a modest house. They don't have a mansion, but they are millionaires. If you look at their net worth, they are millionaires. And so I wanted to help my children understand that you can be middle class and still build, and don't have to show off your wealth to the world. It's nothing wrong with that. So I want to get across that point. It's nothing wrong with having a huge house, a big house, a fancy house, and cars, and nothing wrong with having nice, expensive clothing and all that good stuff. But you have to put it in perspective. I would rather have money in the bank or money in assets like another home and such than have money in my closet. Meaning in clothing and shoes.
Herman's belts and Gucci shoes.
Yeah, and Coaches.
Yeah.
And, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that you have to put it in perspective. What is important right now? What should I be focusing on? And what should I be teaching my children? Because remember, they're watching us. Remember, I watched my mother. They're watching you. So what are you teaching them so that they won't make the same financial mistakes that we made?
And I know a lot of people have this mindset that when you see wealthy people, either they've done something negative to get it, or they're not the nicest people and stuff. What I would do to challenge that thought is, I want to say to you, go try and volunteer for 10 hours this week. The only people who have the ability to
Yes,
volunteer
you're
in the way that
You're
we
right.
volunteer are the people who've built up enough wealth that they own their time and they can give back.
They own
Right.
their
So I
time.
talk a lot about the JCs. I see those guys, they will spend a whole week. So we have 168 hours or something like that in a week. They'll spend probably about 100 hours
Right.
of that week just volunteering in the
volunteering.
sand, giving back to our
Giving
community.
back.
And it's because they put themselves in a financial situation and position that they can
Right.
give back in such a way.
Right.
You know,
right.
once, and my goal is not to demonize anybody if you're looking, you know, if you don't like these people or not. What I'm saying is get yourself to a position where you can give back in ample ways, where you can change and impact your community.
Yes, and you don't have to have millions to give back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can start right now, but you, of course, your time. So we're not saying that, you know, you have to be a multimillionaire to give back. You can give back, you know, anytime of anybody can give back. But when you have your own time, when you own your own time,
Yes.
shall I say own it, when you own your own time, then you can do a lot more for your community.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Oh, I was going to go back to when you said the JCs, which reminded me something that happened inside the book, The Millionaire Next Door.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going to buy your suits at for $2,000-$3,000 suits, we go to JC Penney's.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Well, yeah.
JC Penney.
You know,
I go to Men's Warehouse
Hey, I love
or
T-
Dan Ryan's.
I
Yeah,
love
work.
TJ Maxx,
But-
Marshalls,
But
Ross.
the difference you have, like when I get a suit, that's now I can get the same suit for like $1,200. Now I only spend $400. I now have $800 I can put into my emergency fund.
Yes, yes.
Ooh.
And people are so interesting because they'll say, I don't have enough money to build an ample, you know, emergency fund, substantial emergency fund. And I'm looking at them like, well, shoot, that Coach bag you got on your arm.
Yeah.
Hello. I mean, I don't come out and say it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the bag and I'm looking at them and I'm looking at the bag and they get the picture. And so it's all about, like I said, mentality.
Yep.
Perspective.
Yeah.
It's all about that. You have to put your life, your financial life into a perspective that it will allow you to see, okay, this is where I'm going wrong. These are my weaknesses. And how can I eliminate these weaknesses and then expound on my strengths when it comes to money? Because money is not going away. I mean, even though it may change forms, it's not going away.
So I love that because you're talking about how you should start small.
Yes.
Start where you are.
Yes.
Build from there.
Right.
I wanted to transition a little bit. What's been one of your proudest moments in your industries? So, guys, just so you know, Tearanie is not new to this. She's true to this. How long have you been doing?
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
So more
yes.
than a decade now. And along that road, what's been one of your proudest moments?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. So one of my proudest moments was taking someone that came to me years ago, and they were not at the position where they should be financially. Matter of fact, they were deep in debt.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the time with them and encouraged them and showed them, listen, this is how I got out of debt. This is what you need to do. And once you get to the point where you've gotten out of debt, where you now have discretionary income, then I can show you how to build. That person, a couple years later, came back. And not only when they came back, not only were they debt free, but now they were making six figures. And now, all the information that I gave them, they took it and they ran with it. So now they're coming back and they're like, okay, I am ready to build. And so we are now building, and I'm watching right before my very eyes this person who literally had $3 to $4 in their savings, now have thousands in their savings, now have an emergency fund, now are investing in, and not just their retirement accounts, but non-retirement accounts or brokerage accounts, and they're now investing in other financial vehicles, and I'm watching their net worth grow. They've now not only purchased one home, but now they're looking at doing another home. And now they're looking at the fact that they want to turn one of their homes into an Airbnb. I mean, their mind has expanded. And so that is just one out of several that I can talk about, where I'm seeing people do what I am encouraging them to do or recommending them to do, and I'm seeing it right before my eyes, their net worth changing.
Wow. That's it.
Got to give you your flowers. Got to.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I want to challenge you right now. If you're listening to this, and it's been a phenomenal podcast, if you're considering a financial advisor or a financial professional, are they ministers? Do they have their own book? You know what I mean? Is money their ministry? Are they impacting their community? Are they giving? Because we didn't even talk about how much money she donates to charities throughout the years, how many different organizations she's a part of. Yes. I've seen her give presentations to groups long periods of time. So thank you so much.
Yes.
So for coming and blessing our audience today, Ms. Parker. I really appreciate it.
It is an honor.
Is there anything else that you have to say to the people?
Well, basically, one of the things I would love for you to take away, if you want to take away anything from what I've said, and I've said a lot, always remember, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Ooh.
Don't ever forget that.
That's
Hey,
that's how
guys.
you keep marching to more.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Keep marching to more. And with that, guys, I want to thank you for checking out another episode of the Marching to More podcast. It's been a phenomenal time talking with Miss Tearanie Parker, wealth manager from PFS Advisors, self-published author. If you guys want to learn more about her business, be sure to check out any of the links that are attached to this. Comment in the comments below how she can help you, and I'm sure that she'll probably respond. And if you guys ever have questions about building wealth through real estate, reach out to the Marching to More team, where we're marching to more giving, more community, and more prosperity for all.
Absolutely.
With that being said, contact 757-434-6433. And remember, we'll be with you from the beginning to the end.
And from that moment forward. Thank you, guys.